What's happening, everybody? Jukebox Ginger here with another episode of Stardom with a guest that I've had on once before, Cory Kastle. How the hell are you, man?
Hey, what's up, Dylan? How you doing, my friend?
Dude, Chiefs just won. I'm pretty pumped.
Yes, they did.
Oh man, I wish I had that kind of joy over stuff like that. I wish that I had something. Oh wait, I do have plenty of somethings that bring me as much joy as football has brought you. Yes, but
Hey, there's not much going on in Kansas City, okay? We've got our Chiefs, and that's about it.
are you guys wrestling fans at all?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
All right, then.
I'm sorry.
Then let's keep our judgments to ourselves.
No, you're good. That's fair enough.
Sure.
Football's a little less acting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say the main reason I was asking because if you watch, have you heard of AEW?
Yeah, of course. My buddy does a podcast. It's all AEW.
If you watched AEW last night, it was their event was called Winter is Coming, and it was just their Wednesday night Dynamite show, and they had Bryan Danielson, who used to wrestle as Daniel Bryan in the WWE, wrestle their champion now, which is this guy named Hangman Adam Page, and I feel like if you aren't a wrestling fan and you watch that match, you'll be like, okay, I want to see more of this. Like it is definitely one of the best matches ever.
I'm willing to try anything.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be worth to check that out. I don't understand the implication of the anything twice, but
I'll try anything I want. Depends on if I'm gonna like it or not. How's the weather up there? We had like this crazy ass storm last night, like windstorm, and there were fires there, like 60, 80 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, kind of a wild night.
And I'm pretty sure it headed your way. No?
Well, today was an unseasonably warm day here in the Philly area. I also have to say, I make fun of my friends have a podcast called the Perfectly Misfits podcast.
Okay.
And I make fun of them because every show they start talking about the weather because the one lives in Denver and the one lives in Grand Rapids. And I'm like, who wants to listen to that? Oh, we're going to talk about the weather. What now? We're going to talk. The weather's weird, huh?
What is this? The news?
If it was 70 degrees out and just sunny, that'd be one thing. I mean, it's a crazy ass storm, okay?
You know, you live in a different time zone and the weather's different. What?
Yeah. No, last night was honestly like some Armageddon feels.
It was like intense.
It was weird.
You couldn't even see, like there was so much smoke from fires.
Yeah.
Did you Armageddon in the basement?
Well, right now we're Armageddon in the basement.
I was at work last night when it was going on.
I drove home. Well, since you don't want to talk about weather, you asshole.
No. Well, real quick. I know this isn't my podcast, which my podcast is called Evolving with Cory Kastle. Check it out on any of the platforms where you listen to podcasts. But I'll have to say, since I'm not the host, and I know this should be your duty, I want to give you the opportunity right now to introduce to your listeners the person that you have hanging with you at the old pad.
That's a good. I'm just so used to seeing him that it's just like it's not. It's not important. I'm just kidding. This is my buddy Dylan. He works with me. Dylan,
how are we doing, everyone? My name's Dylan. Dylan Dose. Yep. More important than Dylan Uno, but
you're not a ginger.
I'll go by Dylan Dose. Yeah.
He's just hanging out tonight, and I'd already planned on doing a show with Cory here. I thought your show was Catching Catfish with Cory Kastle.
Catching Catfish. Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes I'll go hunting after some people who are posing to be other people and they aren't. I'll be like, I'll communicate with them a bunch and I'll be like, hey, we're going to meet on my podcast for the first time. And then they sign on and they're not the same person who was in the pictures. It's a sting operation every time.
Okay, so it's been a while since you recorded, you said, right?
Yeah, dude. My last episode I recorded in the beginning of October, and right now, for context, it's the middle of December. So, shoot.
So, are you guys playing Christmas music at the restaurant yet?
It's a smattering, just sort of mixed into it. The gym that I work at, she tried to put Christmas music on the one day, and I came in just to work out, and I was like, yeah, this has got to go. This is not for working out. We cannot have this.
You can't get pumped up and do a couple reps with the jingle bells.
No.
I do have to ask though. So, did you work restaurants before here?
No,
Where you're at now?
No. This is the first waiting job I've ever had.
What has there been anything that's just like made you roll your eyes? Like, are you kidding me?
You know, it's a weird thing, and I thought that I don't know. I think I do like it more than I thought I would. I don't hate it as much as I thought I would, because, well, honestly, I don't hate it at all. It gives me opportunities to like just be a cornball and get laughter, which I love doing anyway. It's just like on such a smaller scale than doing comedy. It'll be they'll be like, hey, it's Matthew's birthday. Everybody, happy birthday, Matthew. And I'm like, oh, Matthew, what's up, buddy? How old are you? And he's like, I'm 11. I'm like, oh, I used to be 11. Just like I have like all my stupid go-tos that I do. Like, you know, there's like these poles that hang up at the end of each table that like have the hooks on them so that you can hang your jacket. And I'll pull my phone out and I'll be like, you guys want to see this post that I've been really bitching about them? Want them to take it down. Like, ready? You want me to show it to you? And then I start backing up and I go, and I bang my arm into it. I'm like, here it is right here. The post. I want them to take down. So just the most silliest of things you can say to make people just chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, and if you're good at it and you have the right like presence, it can be not only good tips, but you meet great people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I approach it the way I approach anything, and the thing is, like, what I'm doing most of the time is creating a special memory for somebody. So maybe I'll have 100 tables a night, and I'll remember none of them, but all of them will remember me.
Yeah. It's almost like you're on a stage with an audience, you know, every night at work.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I looked at it when I was working in front of the house.
Yeah. I'm you know, it's just the money's so unpredictable, but
it is.
I'm just kind of at this moment, I'm just going, well, I'm just kind of refocusing stuff, and I'm hoping to get, like, I've been kind of picking up more wrestling bookings, so I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up for January.
That's awesome.
And sort of making I don't want to say one last go, but I'm making a hard push for a good run right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for the topic of this episode, I picked some pretty stupid Christmas dad jokes almost.
Oh, boy.
I thought they were corny. I thought it was funny. And then I also got some stories that people shared on Reddit that are pretty funny as well.
Okay.
You down?
I'm all the way down. I love me some puns and some dad jokes. I'm the most dad joking non-dad there is.
I can, you know, the whole post thing kind of gave me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, first up. How do the elves clean Santa's sleigh on the day after Christmas?
Can I make a pretty good guess, or do I have to say how? I'll just give you the setup right away.
If you guess it wrong, I'm just going to end this broadcast.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Then I'll make sure I guess it wrong because this has been brutal.
Go ahead.
How do they clean his sleigh? I have no idea.
What do you think, Dylan? Unless you read it, then don't even bother.
I did not. This is the day after Christmas.
Uh-huh.
They've got to be tired.
Well, not the elves didn't go around all those houses.
Yeah, but they build toys all years. They build toys all year.
Yeah, they've been busy. I don't know.
They use sanitizer.
Nice.
Mm.
Post COVID Christmas joke. I like it.
I came up with my own Santa dad joke. You
Okay,
ready?
do
You
it.
ready
Bring
for
it
it?
on. Bring it on.
And I do this on stage now, and it gets pretty good laughs.
Okay.
What would you call Santa Claus if he wore all denim and a cowboy hat?
That's good. I'm actually trying to picture him wearing denim and a cowboy hat right
Can
now.
I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Old Saint Hick.
Close, but nah.
I've got nothing.
You call him a Jolly Rancher.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Let's see. His was a little more messed up, I guess. I like the Jolly Ranch. That's good.
Give me some more. What else you got?
Well, am I just gonna do all the? Do you want to do all the jokes first?
We'll go back and forth on them. I'll give you some of the ones I've been coming up with.
Okay. How much did Santa pay for his sleigh?
Wait a minute. Before we get to that, what did you want to do besides that? What was that?
I told you I had some stories that people posted that are humorous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's pepper some of those jokes in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
didn't have to go, I told you, like I was some kind of jerk face.
Look here, you dick. On that sanitizer note, though, I do want to say, have you ran into the ones that smell absolutely terrible?
Oh yeah, we have them at the gym. They smell like it smells like the inside of the inside of a disgusting old shoe. They're just not a good.
You got like these gallon jugs around where we work, and you pump it, you start wiping your hands, and you wish you didn't. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna share one of these stories somebody posted.
Mm-hmm.
One Christmas Eve, when I was young, my little brother and I both heard a loud noise coming from the living room. We got out of bed and tiptoed down the hallway to discover our dad vacuuming the floor. He told us that the reindeer got into the house and pooped in the carpet. Of course, we believed the story, but years later he revealed that he accidentally knocked over the tree while setting up presents.
Well, I mean, that's a thinking on your feet, I guess, to say that some reindeers pooped on the floor. I mean, if you're already lying to them about everything else.
My kid's 10 now, and as of like 2 years ago, you would say, "Oh, Santa's coming," and he would just give you this look like, "I'm not a fucking idiot."
So your kids don't believe in Santa?
My 4-year-old does.
Yeah.
She wholeheartedly believes in Santa.
Did you say wholeheartedly? Like she's holding like she's holding her heart?
Yeah.
I believe in Santa. Here he comes.
He's not.
I'm holding it close to my heart that Santa exists.
I mean, I did that for like 20 years. So.
Did you really? How old were you when you realized that he didn't exist?
When I was told, or when I quit believing?
Well, which one came first?
No, everyone was told before they stopped believing.
Wait, for sure. I was like, "You're a liar."
The minute they saw Santa with mom.
I actually did a Santa gig this year. I dressed up as Santa and took pictures with dogs at the mall.
Are you serious?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Did he have the whole fake beard and everything?
Yeah, it looked terrible. It was like you couldn't even see me smiling or at all, anything. They're like, smile with the kid or with the dog, and I'm like, can't even tell because it's it's covering my whole face.
Uh-huh.
Dogs are the new kids, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And
like taking over.
So, do you got an answer?
Age?
Yeah.
I started getting hints like probably 7-ish.
Okay.
And I didn't really want to give up believing until like 9, I want to say, probably.
Yeah, I think I believed in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles longer than Santa.
Longer than Santa? Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because
They were
there's
my thing.
because there was live action movies. There's live action movies,
Yeah.
and then there was different actors every time. Every time there was a Santa movie or there was Santa in a movie, it would be a different actor playing him.
Right.
So I'm like,
Yeah. That did throw it off.
where's the continuity here? Where's the continuity in the Santa stories?
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably 6, 7, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I came from 2 different families, so like I was already confused. How about for you, Corey? Still pretty young?
I mean, my brother is 2 years older than me, and my sister is 1 year older than me. So we're all pretty close in age. And as soon as they stopped going to bed when I went to bed, I started figuring it out.
Yeah.
Connecting the dots.
Yeah, I was like, all right. They're like, go to sleep or Santa won't come. And then they're like, come on, Jace, go to sleep. Jace, go to sleep. Go to sleep. We're gonna go up and help Santa. I'm like, stop it. You're ruining it now. So I must have been 7 or 8 or something.
You like call your parents out. You're like, no, I know Tim Allen is Santa. Okay. Don't lie to me. All right, another joke.
Do it.
I read it earlier. We just didn't get the answer. But how much did Santa pay for his sleigh?
You know what? I'll just make the thinking noise for like 4 or 5 more minutes if you guys don't mind. No, I have no idea.
Do you have any ideas?
I have no idea.
Nothing. It was on the house.
Ha! That's a good one. I dig it.
Very nice.
I dig it.
What you got, Corey?
So Thanksgiving just passed.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I was a vegan going into it,
Uh-huh.
and then I quit being a vegan. You know how I quit being a vegan? Ask me how I quit.
Thanksgiving.
How did you quit?
Cold turkey.
Oh. I thought you were being serious.
That's good. That was good. I think I'd probably be done with Thanksgiving if I bit into some cold turkey.
Well, it's leftovers. It's leftovers.
Yeah.
Cold turkey sandwiches the next day.
Right.
No joke. That's good. Thanksgiving. You got any more? How was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. I got to spend time with my favorite people, man. My family. They're my favorite people ever. So yeah. So absolutely, I loved it.
Is there like family traditions or like recipes that you look forward to every Thanksgiving?
Not really. I mean, I'm huge into stuffing and mashed potatoes, and that's. I mean,
The essentials.
They're dime a dozen.
So growing up, mashed potatoes was like I would eat it. That's all I would eat. I would literally go to a buffet and eat just mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. And my grandpa was a truck driver, and he took me every year for summer. I'd go for a month with him and travel, and we hit truck stop buffets. And I remember I was choking on mashed potatoes one time because I had too much in my mouth. It's the craziest thing. And now I'm just like, how the hell did I choke on mashed potatoes?
You weren't chewing enough. You got to chew more. You got to chew more.
It wasn't those Yukon Golds that I love so much,
Yeah.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
So growing up, my grandpa, my dad's dad, always called me Bud.
Mm-hmm.
Bud, buddy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandpa call you Spud?
Oh man, that's good. You got me.
Yeah.
No, it was usually just pickle.
Pickle, nice.
Dill pickle from
Dill
Rugrats.
pickle. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Dill
That was a
pickles.
common nickname I had also.
Yeah, dill pickle was.
If you named Dylan growing up in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
it's a Rugrat references all day.
Hey, have you guys thought about the Rugrats in the beginning of it and how like the beginning of it was just a splot of milk like right on the screen, and how like
I didn't know if it was milk or not.
yes, it's kind of gross now thinking about it, huh?
No, yeah, there's a lot of those old cartoons.
You know what I always thought, even back then, like the doctor who like wrote those books that the mom was into was Dr. Lipschitz.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'd always be like, they're getting away with saying shits on this show. That was like 5 years old when that show came out, and I was like, whoa, shits! We can't even say that.
I liked Ren and Stimpy and Cow and Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Cow and Chicken.
I watched a lot of those.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog.
Remember the show that was like IR Baboon or something? It was like I Am Chicken.
Yes,
and
but I don't
IR
think I
Baboon.
watched it.
Oh man. Well, that was a comedy. That was a Cartoon Network one, not a Nickelodeon one. We're all in the vein of Nickelodeon. I just wanted to pull us out of that for one.
Johnny was that one?
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, baby.
Yep. Ed, and Eddie.
All right, let's see what else we got here. We went out as a family and cut down a tree. 2 days later, our cat started attacking the tree. We realized that it was covered in praying mantis babies. There were hundreds of them. We dragged it out of our house, and it was horrible, and I still have nightmares about it.
Well, you see, the tree and everything inside of it realized that they were celebrating the birth of Christ. Praying mantises.
That would be pretty intense, though. Like, I mean, I've seen a praying mantis, and they're not that creepy. But if you saw hundreds of them, like these little baby praying mantises everywhere, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. Honestly, have you ever seen more than one
At a time, now.
at a time?
Well, how do you even pluralize it? Praying mantises? Manti? There's Boxing.
I don't think I've ever had a real tree, though. I've always had like the pre-set up ones. I don't ever think I went out and cut one down or anything like that.
Well, I've never cut one down, but I've had real trees like every year at my mom's. I've never had one since I've lived here by myself. I'm not going to have a Christmas tree for myself. I'm not going to decorate my own house when it's just me and my roommate, who's just another dude who's my age. We don't care.
You just pan over to your nightstand. You got like this little 2-foot one that's right next to your lamp.
Well, I live in like a duplex, and my downstairs neighbors just decorated out front like a whole bunch of icicle lights and stuff. And I was like, maybe it'll be nice for me to like on the front window in the kitchen, maybe just put like a string of lights around. So I grabbed a thing of lights for me to put up, but they're just gonna sit on the on the countertop in the kitchen.
As long as you got the receipt, you'd reach.
Like, wait, what? I'm putting Christmas lights up on December 26th.
The day after. So my neighbor's mother is like obsessed with Santa Claus. So year round in their living room is just Santa Claus. Almost like those people who are obsessed with those porcelain dolls that look real creepy and weird. Mm-hmm. Just think of that, but just Santa Claus is everywhere. I mean, just creepy as shit.
Insanity.
I need to get like a little 2-piece drum set. just for stuff like that.
Do you know that when people make the noise, the dum-ts thing, or when people make the womp womp sad trombone, I want to hit them right in their fucking nose every time. Really, really dislike it. It is like heckling me. Like this is what I'm trying to do with my life. And you're going, oh, no, you can't try to be funny with your life. Be like us, boring and sad and unwitty.
My bad, Corey, okay? Don't punch me.
No, I said I want to. I didn't say I was going to.
I want to. Not that I'm going. Did you ever watch The Office?
Yeah.
There's a scene where I don't know what's his name. Is it Frank? Who's the bigger
Michael
guy?
Scott?
No, the bigger guy.
The bigger guy, Jim.
Heavier set guy.
Kevin.
He spills the chili.
Kevin.
There's one where he's doing that whole with the drum set, and then he like falls over. Have you seen that scene? And they made like a GIF about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I think of when I hear it.
I saw
don't get
all of
enraged
The
when I see
Office.
that.
Well, it's not that I get enraged. It's the same like triggering fuel that stands my hair up on my neck when someone talks to me about like in a discouraging way about pro wrestling, like as if they were going to call it acting and not wrestling. Like that same discouraging way that makes my blood kind of my mother used to say makes my blood run cold, like kind of like nails on a chalkboard. I went to the convenience store the other day. My friend's daughter works at the convenience store, and she's in high school, and she was telling me about her boyfriend, and she was like, "Oh, he's a wrestler. He's in high school, and he's going through the tournaments and stuff. He's an actual wrestler, though." And I was like, "Fuck you! Don't say that to me. Don't imply that what I do isn't actually wrestling, because what I'm doing that's called amateur wrestling. I'm a professional wrestler. I get paid for every. Shut up!" And she's like, "I know. I've watched you. I've watched you before." I'm like, "Then you should know better than to not insult me." I'm just.
But so is there are scenarios where there is acting involved in the wrestling, though?
No, yeah, for sure. It's an art craft. It's
right.
It's an art form. It's like craft. It's like crafting a perfect little. You're hurting yourself to put on a performance of this thing. So it's to say that it isn't wrestling is like saying, if I were to come up to you and say, "Oh, see these mashed potatoes? They're from the microwave. They're not real mashed potatoes," and I toss them away. Like I grab your plate, all the mashed potatoes in my hand, and I go, "Well, I'm saving you because you were going to choke on them anyway."
I get it. No, I mean, I'd get upset too.
Those potatoes made Idaho.
Okay.
Did you laugh at that because it was actually funny?
It was fun. I laughed. It was funny.
Because the Idaho potatoes, and you choked on them. They made Idaho. You see?
No, I got it.
You see, I have to explain the low hanging fruit hardcore.
So have you done stand-ups, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, have you had like just silence before?
Oh yeah, bombed hard. I've bombed hard so many times. Like you're not a real comedian if you haven't bombed hard like 100 times and then got off stage and be like, "Well, I'm never doing this again. I'm never coming back. I'm never staying on stage." But there's got to be some delusion in you where you're like, "Oh, it was just them. I was good. They sucked."
Builds character.
Yeah.
Like I quote my friend Joey Doc all the time. He's a comedian in Philly, but he started when he was really young. Like he was like 17 when I met him or something, and he was like. He had a bit where he was like, "This man came up to me after my show and he was like, 'Wow, you were really brave. You were really brave up there.' And he was like, 'Cool. I was going for funny.'" So that inspired me. Also, like not just that, but the fact that like later on, if I would go on stage and I'd wear like a shirt that was kind of funny, like as if like I would never wear this shirt. I would never wear this shirt on stage because someone would come up to me and be like, "Oh man, that's a great shirt." I'm like, "What about my jokes? What about this? What about me just putting my whole balls on the table for you to swing at or tickle? What are you talking?"
So there's a guy that works with us. His name's Aaron, and when I first started podcasting, he's like, "Aren't you worried that somebody's going to make you feel stupid or you're going to piss somebody off?" And I'm like, "What are they going to do? Hang up or end the show?" I mean, I'm not worried about it.
Well, and this is the thing I say all the time, and you might have heard me say, and I probably said it to you. The the way to tune into a podcast is you'd have to take all this extra effort on yourself, because it's not like you could just turn the radio on and there it is. Like you'd have to seek out where it is. You'd have to hit the play button or download button, and you'd have to actually sit there and spend the currency of your attention and your effort on that piece. So if you're not liking what you're listening to, go listen to something else. There's 100 bazillion other things to listen to. There's a whole, like, I don't know. I always say that whatever you're doing, you're not just competing with other podcasts. You're competing with smartphone, YouTube, every single thing that exists. Like any piece of content, every TikTok, man. TikTok sucks the hours out of people's days.
God, I can't watch a movie with my wife because of TikTok.
Yeah.
So like, did you see this? I'm like, there's an action scene happening. This dude's curb stomping this guy, and you're showing me this TikTok.
Honey, John Wick is on.
You picked this movie.
I went to the movies yesterday with my girlfriend. We saw House of Gucci, and
How was that?
And it was good. It was good. It was very long.
Yeah.
But at one point, there's this character that was never in the movie before this, was just walked into the frame, and she went, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm watching the same thing you are at the very same time. I have no idea who that is."
Is she in TikTok?
Oh yeah, insanely. I wouldn't have reference to have said that had I not watched her sit there and just stay on it all night and not go to bed.
It's even better when you're in the bedroom and you just finished and ready to go to bed, and she's like, "Oh, hey, look at this."
Just finished
just
what?
Like, I'm not gonna. You guys use your mind. Use your mind.
Reading a book to each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Brushing
Just
your teeth.
finished our bedtime story. Washed up and got ready for bed.
Mm-hmm. It was a sweaty book.
But between TikTok and Amazon, it's just.
Oh, dude, I can get lost for hours scrolling on Amazon. It's ridiculous. Any like ad that pops up on my Instagram or anything, I always scroll to the side and see what else options are coming. Like, oh man, I wonder what's next. This algorithm's got me figured out. I would. They know that I like T-shirts. I probably got this off of some Instagram ad. I love ads. There's a new special on HBO Max, a comedy special that I absolutely love. This guy's name is
What's it called? I have HBO Max.
It's the guy's name is Drew Michael. And the comedy special is called Red, Blue, Green.
Okay.
And it is, and I haven't had a chance to talk about this publicly because I haven't been on anything in 2 months. But the guy's like Louis C.K., Bill Burr level genius. And it's his material is so smart. And it's so funny because he has this whole chunk. He talks about how he does this impression of Jimmy Fallon, and he's just shitting all over Jimmy Fallon. He's like, "I'm begging you to have an opinion about anything." And he was like, and then he was on Kimmel the other day.
What? This is the Drew guy, Drew Michael.
Drew Michael, yes. He has two specials on HBO. The one is just him speaking in a room by himself, so it wasn't like him doing stand-up. It was kind of him doing stand-up premises, but in front of nobody. And this was pre-pandemic, so it was kind of like Bo Burnham, but not.
Okay. All right, you ready for the next one?
Oh, we're still doing that? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I mean, this is what I tell most of my guests, even before they come on. The topic is more set so that the discussion is not what you would normally expect to have on a podcast.
Yeah, I know. I've done the show before. This isn't my first go round, mister.
Well, he hasn't. I'm just looking at the camera, but I'm talking to him.
Some friend. He's not even listening to your podcast?
I've listened.
He's listened. He actually, when I told him that you were coming on, he's like, "Oh yeah, you've had him on." So see, he's listened.
All right.
All right. What happens if you eat Christmas decorations?
Mm. Dylan, do you have a guess?
I don't.
You
I'm running dry on this one.
You wreck the bowels. Wreck the
That
bowels.
was good.
That's pretty good.
No,
Good
you get tinselitis.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
all right. So, is that supposed to be a joke on like tendonitis?
Tonsil?
Tonsillitis?
Maybe tonsil?
Is it?
I don't even know if tonsillitis is a thing. I know you can get it removed.
Uh-huh.
I
So,
didn't write the joke.
so let me get this straight. You didn't fully understand the joke that you decided to prepare and read.
Yes,
and
because I know what tinsels are. I think it's funny. I just don't know what it's referencing in comparison.
Cool. Neat. Cool. Go ahead.
You never laughed at jokes that you didn't really fully understand?
Oh yeah, all the time. I fully just.
I guess it was,
If everybody else is laughing, I have to laugh too, just so they don't think I'm a dummy.
So I manage in my department now, and like
Ooh.
it's really loud. Okay, so it gets really loud, and I'll be like working, and some people can't work and talk; they have to stop and talk. And like they'll be trying to talk to me, and they're laughing, and they're saying something. I'm just kind of laughing, and at the end of it, they're like, they pause, like they're waiting for a response, and I'm like, "What were you talking?" And then I feel like an asshole, but whatever.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know if you get it, but I've always had this because I know for my whole life I've always had like a kind of an over analytical, like zoomed out perspective on things. I'm always analyzing everything, and I'm always observing and trying to come up with a different take on stuff. So when I would say things out loud, there's a good chance most people aren't going to get it. There's a good chance that, not most people, there's a good chance that a lot of people won't get it because they're not quite on my intellectual level. So I'll get real nervous when I go to say something, and I'll feel like these nerves up my back, like I'm gonna bomb right here, right now. Like that's how I feel sometimes. And I'm like, oh man. A lot of times I will push stuff like that down, but it's always been a thing where it's like, I'm gonna be misunderstood on this one. Like there's a couple.
You overanalyze what you're gonna say before you say it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, very over analytical. Like
Definitely, I've been there.
I have so much stuff that is like, it's so overanalyzed that I can't even sometimes do it on stage because I know the majority of people as they're listening, they're gonna be like, "What? I didn't get it. I don't understand." And some of the stuff is referenced to songs and stuff that like some people aren't gonna know. Like the song "Regulators" by Nate Dogg and Warren G.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Wait, was that the joke? Was that the joke?
No, that's not the joke. No, that's not the joke.
I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I'm not going to say yes because I know I probably don't.
I'm gonna look it up on YouTube and I'll start playing it
right now.
Oh, okay. Regulators.
I wonder how it's going to sound on this mic.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wait for this song for sure. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I've heard this.
For sure heard this song.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know the title.
Okay. So in the song, it's like a storytelling song where like Warren G does this thing where he goes, he's like, so I hooks left on 2-1 and Lewis seen some brothers shooting dice. So I said, let's do this. Right. And then he's like, jumped out the ride, said, what's up? And then they pulled guns on him. And they started robbing him. Mm-hmm. Right. And then like it cuts away to Nate Dogg's part where he's singing the song. He's telling his part of the story. And then it cuts back to Warren G. And he's like, I'm getting jacked. They're taking my wealth. They're taking Warren's wealth. They took my rings. They took my Rolex. I looked at the brother, said, damn, what's next? And then I'm like, wait a minute. So you didn't know these guys, and you rolled up on them in an illegal dice game with rings and a Rolex, and they're the assholes for jumping you?
That's like people. That's almost like somebody like a female going out, dressed up and like super sexy, showing off glitter all over, and then getting mad at you for looking.
Are you victim blaming Dylan?
No, when they get mad at you for looking, like you're clearly looking for attention.
Yeah. I'm not touching this one, buddy. I'm sorry.
All good. You don't have to.
This analogy solely belongs to you.
No, it's all good, man. But I'm just saying. I
agree.
If my wife goes out, okay, and she's got her cleavage showing, and she says, "Oh, was he looking?" and I'll be like, "Probably."
I've got this joke that I do. It's sometimes, most of the time it gets a good reaction, but sometimes silence. Sometimes it bombs. Okay. But I say, with everybody having the internet and, having smartphones and all the world's information at the palm of your hands, like, I'm very surprised that libraries still exist. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that there's still libraries blows me away sometimes. So I was like, I saw that there was all these cars in the parking lot at the library near me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go in there and see what's up. And there was people like lined up to use the computers to get on the internet inside the library. I was like, you can't do that. You can't use the thing that makes this place obsolete inside this place. That's like you go into your current girlfriend's house holding hands with your side piece and you're like, hey, do you mind if we just French kiss in your living room?
They have. I mean, there's all other kind. Like you can rent the rooms out there. Like they have all sorts of weird. I went into one. It was been a couple months, and it was to return like a outdo DVD from like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they had a podcast set up in a corner.
They had a podcast.
They had the whole mics, the ring light, and everything set up like a little booth in the corner of the library.
All right. Well, now it's time for me to never do that joke again. Thanks, Dylan.
It's okay. We'll see. I'll let you know how many views we get and go from there.
That's why another thing I say, like with the stakes are low, the consequences are low for doing something that maybe doesn't get over well, because maybe 30 people see it, or maybe 100 people see it, but like that's 100 out of 7 billion people. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, it kind of goes back to the comedy special I was talking about, and he talked about getting himself off of social media. He did such a good chunk on social media. And he's like, oh, like I'll read reviews on a restaurant from Yelp, but then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, but this is the person who started a Yelp page. I'm considering the source. This is the person who'd have a Yelp page. Why am I caring what they think?
I don't even think I look at Yelp reviews. I don't even think I've ever gone on Yelp to review a restaurant or anything.
Right. That's what he was saying about that. Like for he's like, he looks at Yelp and Twitter the same way. Anybody writes anything on Twitter, he's like, yeah, but this is a person who'd be on Twitter. Like,
where's the relevancy?
Yeah. Cause I learned to consider the source when I was a kid, man. Because, I despite what you see before you now, the jockey stud that you see, the jacked muscly stud that you see right here, right now. For the audio listeners, that's a joke. I realize I am in very good shape and I'm a handsome boy, but I was not a handsome boy as a child. I was skinny fat with bad eyesight, and Oh yeah, awkward, sweaty boy. Always awkward and sweaty, and no one ever liked me. I was in sped. You know what I mean? So people would come up to me and say, "Oh, you're retarded." Like people said retarded to me. That was a word that got used on me from bullies when I was a kid. So, my mom told me when I was younger, anytime anybody said anything to me, to consider the source and where it's coming from. Like the person saying that to you probably doesn't have a lot of love at home. The person who's saying it to you might get abused by their parents. The people saying it to you aren't as funny as you, aren't as clever. Sure, cut you down because you're in the special classes, but like you're just because you're special doesn't mean you're not just as normal as everybody else. It's like everything is their coping mechanisms. That's a day problem. And my mom taught me that from like when I was really super young. So it comes that way when it comes to like considering rumors and news and all that stuff. It's all like, yeah, like who's this coming from? And that's the same thing about what Drew Michaels said. He's like, yeah, you might not like me because I'm going to say this joke, but like, who are you?
Yeah,
who are you?
exactly.
What are you doing? I care what you think. You're just a bunch of people in a dark room looking at me.
Well, that's like before I shot my first or did my first episode, and I posted on Facebook, one of the groups, and somebody said, you really shouldn't put dumb in the name. That could be offensive. And I was like, well, you definitely don't want to listen to my show.
Well, maybe don't throw shoulds at me right now. Maybe that.
While we're on this topic, I was in St. Louis over last weekend, and we're at this bar Sunday night. Pretty calm. This is downtown St. Louis, but it's Sunday night, and there's this guy on stage, awesome musician. He sang great, played the guitar great. He was a blues guy. He honestly played the guitar and played harmonica at the same time during his songs. Mm-hmm. And my buddy, who was a little bit more liquored up than I was that night, he thought this guy was a cover singer, which I didn't really know the songs he was playing. They were good regardless. Mm-hmm. And my buddy goes, play Turnpike. I don't know if you know who Turnpike Troubadours are. It's like a Red Dirt, Texas band.
Okay.
But blues and their music, very similar. And the guy was like, yeah, I don't play Turnpike, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, in my defense, they don't play my music either. So Turnpike's this huge band, who plays nationwide in front of tens of thousands of people. And this guy says straight up, like, I might be small, but you don't see them playing my music, so why should I play theirs?
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it is pretty on topic. It's right on brand with what we were just speaking about.
Yeah,
that's good.
You should have this guy on your show all the time. Is what I'm saying. Dylan.
That's fine. Hey, he can come on whenever he wants.
Double D. We should change the name of the show.
Start him with 2 Ds.
Start him with 2 Ds.
Start
dumb and dumber.
Double D penetration.
What is it? Dos Pendejos. Let's have to do Dos Pendejos.
And you're in the bedroom and you just finished, and then you're recording the podcast.
TikTok. All right, you want another joke?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Who is never hungry at Christmas?
Who is never hungry at Christmas?
Mm-hmm. Are you asking me, or are you just repeating the question?
I'm. When someone goes like, "My wife's so dumb. How dumb is she?" I was doing the who's never hungry at Christmas.
Do you want to give it a shot, or am I just saying it?
Go ahead. You got it.
The turkey, because it's always stuffed.
Okay. All right.
Speaking of stuffing birds,
I also want to say I've never ever had a turkey at Christmas. Never once. I don't know. That's really? No one in my family ever believed that was important.
What do you do? What do you guys usually eat? Just whatever's cooking.
Whatever's there, man. Yeah.
Whatever's there.
What lunch meat?
Now, have you
Lunch
had
meat,
a roasted
lunch meat,
turkey?
meatballs and stuff. Oh, I had a roasted turkey.
Have you ever had roasted turkey? Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. That's like
All right.
it's pretty common food.
Hey, well, you did say you were vegan.
Oh, it was. That was the joke. I wasn't. I've never been vegan before in my life.
All right. Well, Cory.
There's not enough protein for vegans, and I'm a meathead.
It would
so
be an extremely hard lifestyle.
That would be.
I'll say that.
Mhm.
Do you guys mind chatting for like 30 seconds so I get the plug in for this? Because it's about to die.
Just do it. Do it.
I'm going to do it. Yeah. You guys can chat it up.
I'll share with you a joke I've been trying to do on stage, but I haven't been doing it.
Hey, Cory.
But yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Hey, we might be losing you.
All right. All right. Well. Oh shoot. Gosh dang. Farts and shit.
We good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now you're really
The
loud.
audio's a lot louder now.
Yes.
All right. So it was you the whole time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hmm.
Well, you know what I did? I changed my computer.
What's that?
I got another laptop. I just grabbed a different laptop.
Oh, okay.
And this one apparently gives me a Christmas background. Do you see this?
Well, you can change that, you know. You
I'm
can,
gonna leave it because we're about done anyway. So.
I like it.
well, I mean, continuity is what I'm saying. So you can make it like you didn't go anywhere.
Oh no, yeah. No, I plan on cropping this
We
out.
went to the North Pole, didn't you?
We can make it seamless.
Well, anyways, I'm sorry about that. I'll crop out that little gap there.
Are you actually like live on anything right now?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, that's neat.
I always go live on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you usually pre-record all your stuff?
Oh yeah, totally, man. I totally pre-record everything.
That way you don't have this situation, right?
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I mean, I think I do it like that because I know if I do it live, no one's watching it. No one cares. You know what I mean?
So I got my secret is, and it's the easiest way for me to do this is I record it live to YouTube, and then with my phone after we're done, I will screen record the whole thing, and then I strip the audio from that recording.
Ugh. That's such a freaking task, man. I can't believe. Why would you do all that work? Like, don't do all that work. That's
Why do
too
you
much.
do all that training and practicing for wrestling?
That's so many steps. That's so many steps.
It's not really.
No, because let me tell you, just from somebody who has StreamYard also and also has a podcast, 2 podcasts, if I can say that, Evolving with Cory Kastle and Wrestle Rock. What I used to do before I got StreamYard, is I would record it on Zoom or Skype, and then put it onto YouTube, and then go to a YouTube to MP3 converter site and do the whole. And I had to sit there and wait for that whole thing to happen. And when I got StreamYard, I just paid for whatever the cheapest thing was, and it's totally worth it because it gives you the audio and it gives you the video, all two separate files to download. Like it does all that work for you, so you don't have to go through all those extra steps.
See, that's why I'm trying to get OBS set up, because that's what that does. It does the recording separately.
All right, do you, boo? XOXO.
I do appreciate it, and I don't know, man. $20 is $20, man. It's not much for you, but that's something for me.
Well, sometimes it's like if you've spent it already, you know what I mean? It's not like you're missing it, you know? Like you just pay for the year. Maybe ask somebody who's close with you to buy you a year of StreamYard premium, so you don't have to worry, and you don't have to have this gosh dang thing at the top right with the little duck face and
that doesn't
the
really
S
bug
on
me,
it.
though.
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean,
it's bugging me. I gotta duck out of the way of the thing. Duck out of the way of it.
So you can see it too?
Oh yeah, you can see exactly what we see.
Yeah.
This is what we see.
See our cabin?
Yeah, that's a little cabin.
Yeah. Once you point at it, it disappears, though.
All right, man. So I'm sorry about that little gap there, but you got.
So more jokes.
I
We're
might have another.
gonna do some more jokes.
Yeah, let's wrap this up with a couple jokes.
Okay, more
Throw
jokes.
Throw it at me while I'm looking up.
So what I always think about dissecting Christmas songs is, if my true love really knew me, they'd know I don't want so many goddamn birds. But it's 10 days into the 12 days of Christmas, and already it's 5 days into the 12 days of Christmas, and already I've got 10 goddamn birds. These things are gonna die. I'm not good at pets.
I've never owned a bird. I would have wanted.
No, me either. No, they have the ability to fly. Why cage them?
Yeah.
That's
That's kind of cruel.
yeah. It's like cutting J-Lo's butt off.
Yeah.
I've always
Same
wondered,
analogy.
if you think I'm
Is it a good
curious.
analogy? That's the best analogy. I don't approve of what Cory just said a minute ago. I don't approve of that.
Free the birds, free the ass.
All right, who did one Christmas tree, or what did one Christmas tree say to the other?
Tinder. I don't know.
Lighten up.
I know.
Lighten up. All right.
Yeah, it's one of those.
That's. I mean, that's kind of right over the plate. So another Christmas song that I when I was a kid, I just never understood it, because I didn't understand, because when they say they say feed the world, right? And it's like Paul McCartney or whatever, the Band-Aid or whatever, and they're like, feed the world, and then they say, there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas, right? And then they go, do they know it's Christmas time at all? I was always like, wait, because it's hot in Africa and they don't have snow, they don't know it's Christmas? Drop off a crate of decorations and say, hey, decorate, it's Christmas.
We sell a Christmas cactus at my work.
They don't have calendars in Africa either? What the heck? They don't know it's Christmas?
I was reading somewhere that people don't even like. Where is it?
Maybe they should ask Santa Claus for calendars.
I think is it Italy? So there's a country that it's not even Santa. It's like it's an old witch that delivers your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like La Bafina or something like that. I don't know. I was reading it the other day. Weird. Instead of a jolly old man, you get an old witch.
Sounds kind of Baltic.
It does.
Her name is Santa Maria.
What does Santa do when his elves misbehave?
He calls them a cotton-headed ninny muggins. No, I have no idea. Whoa.
He gives them a sack.
He gives them the sack, like
Jackson?
a football sack. Like
Gee,
they
man.
sack like a tackle, like they tackle like a.
I don't know what he means.
I mean, y'all are the football freaks, and not me. So imagine.
I mean, if you would have saw him when they did that final touchdown in overtime.
Oh man, that was a great one. I missed that. I mean,
Travis Kelce record amount
Oh,
of
yeah,
yards receiving
boy.
yards tonight.
oh, he's
198.
his brothers on the Eagles in Philly.
Yes,
Yes,
they're
So
they're
you know
honestly pretty
something.
comical. They are a funny group of guys.
well, you see, I watched the Super Bowl the year they won because my mom has always been an Eagles fan, so
Yeah.
it was important for me to watch them win. I wanted that to happen. And then getting to watch her be as happy as she was, like excited and kind of crying and carrying on. We went down to what's called like 5 Points in Levittown and watched like all this celebrating and all these people jumping all up on each other's shoulders, and
The
it was
parade.
yeah. And then in the parade, Jason Kelsey was dressed as a mummer, and you guys probably don't even know what mummers are, but mummers are musicians who get all drunk on New Year's Day and they march down 2nd Street in South Philly and they go and they stamp around in a little box. That's kind of all what mummers are. But they have a mummers parade on New Year's Day. Almost every they didn't do it for COVID and all that stuff for the last 2 years, but I think it's back this year. But he dressed like a mummer in the speech at the parade, and he said this thing that now is so famous around here. And tell me if you guys have heard this. I don't know if you watched it. And he
I've
says,
seen his speech. Yeah.
"We're from Philly. You don't like us. We don't care. We're from Philly. Fucking Philly. You don't like us. We don't care." And that has been such a used thing here.
This resonates in every soul in Philly.
Yeah, dude. It's seriously like I'm guilty of having hometown pride. I've lived here my entire life, and even though I'm not a huge sports fan, like sometimes when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh yeah, we are Philly. Like, and we're unapologetically like sometimes like assholes, but sometimes loving. This is a city of brotherly love. Like it's kind of all part of it. So like I'll see comics like Kevin Hart, and I'll see comics like Big J Okerson, and like all M. Night Shyamalan movies, all like Philly stuff. Like I'll watch TV and be like, that guy's from Philly, and I feel like a connection. Like somehow we have a bond. They don't even know me.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. Maybe that's how New Yorkers feel about New York, but I feel that way about Philly.
Kansas City is just like anywhere's better than here.
Except for the barbecue.
Well,
The barbecue's good.
well, I guess Andy Reid doesn't think that.
He's been here long enough.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, what else you got for me? Any more jokes? 'Cause I'm all out.
Let me think on it. Let me think.
Like, is there something you use at the end of your stand-ups, like when you're about to head off stage? Is there any,
like my closers?
yeah.
I have a few different closers that I use depending on what the crowd is. But the one that's been getting like pretty good reaction lately is I say, do you know who I think would be a really good representative of the like the gay movement, the LGBTQ community, is the Kool-Aid Man. The Kool-Aid Man. Hear me out. He's always got a smile on his face. He's breaking down walls. He's got AIDS, but it's the cool kind. And if the if the Kool-Aid Man was a homosexual male, he'd never be a catcher because he's always a pitcher.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that is a good one. That is good. So,
and I have to also say, to anybody who ever gets offended by that at any show, I'd love for them to come up and talk to me afterwards, and me tell them that I'm probably the queerest person you know. I happen to like my closest friends will tell you that I'm about 75% gay. Like all like the sensitivity and the emotion. I was raised by a single lesbian mom. I was raised by a single mom. I have a gay brother and I have a gay sister, and my sister is married to a woman, so her wife is also gay. So I'm more in this community for longer in my life. The day I was born on my mom's 24th birthday, and the day I was born, every year for my whole life, my mom is like, know where I was right now? Like I go over her house around midnight every year on our birthday. And she goes, you know where I was right here, right now? She's like, I was in the hospital on my birthday, and I was watching the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, but it was guest hosted that night by Joan Rivers, and her guest was Boy George from Culture Club, and that was the first time she had ever seen Boy George, and she was automatically like, wow, I'm inspired. I can be who I want to be. Like, masculinity doesn't have to be one thing or the other. And my mom told me when I was young, like, sometimes men love men. Like, that's just a part. Like, that's it. It never was a bad thing. I never thought being gay was wrong. And I always, like, the second my mom came out to me, and it was the weirdest thing because she like sat me down on the edge of her bed, and she was like, hey, you know, my sister's name's Julie. She was like, oh, you know, Julie asked me today if I was a lesbian, and I told her yes, and I was like, uh-huh, and she was like, how does that make you feel? And I was like, I don't care. You're still my mom. I don't care. Does that change how you're my mom? No? Okay.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Now I understand why you locked us out of the house when you had Lydia over. It kind of paints it kind of fills in a lot of the blanks that I had.
That's good.
Well, go out and play, hon. Oh, why is the door locked? Like, but it'd be locked in such a way that even if we had a key, there would be a chain that we couldn't. So it's like, oh yeah, go build a fire in the yard. It's going to be cold out.
Wear a jacket or don't, you know. Just don't come back inside for a while.
Right.
All right, Cory. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, right?
All right. Well, all the people who are currently watching live on YouTube, yes. I want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Cory Kastle, spelled CoryKastle. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagrams over at Cory Kastle, CoryKastle. If you Google me, and this is something I'm going to say this very humbly, very, very, very humbly, and just as much humility as one can muster, but at the same time accepting the credit for it because I've worked very hard. I've worked very hard for a very long time making my name mean something. If you were to Google Cory Kastle and you spell it incorrectly, Google will say, "Did you mean this?" And it'll spell it the correct way. So I'm going to say this very humbly, but at the same time, know that I worked my ass off for the last 2 decades to make that happen. And all that stuff, all those credits that gave me that made me so Googleable, I worked for. And it's not a fluke. It's who I really am.
Oh, I agree that 100%. So I met you. You've been doing this quite a bit before me, but when I met you, I had just started.
Right.
And you've been a great friend. You've helped give me advice, and you've been there, and I love it. Your shows are great. Even though I'm not into wrestling, you and I have never had issues talking. Like there's never been an issue.
Well, I can't talk to this guy. He likes wrestling.
Wrestling.
It's impossible. It's impossible to talk to this guy about anything else but wrestling.
I am going to put all of your stuff in the description for because I'm on Spotify and Apple and all the other.
Oh
things,
yeah,
so.
dude. Yeah, that's anybody listening, anybody watching. If this is your first time checking me out, I want to express to you my gratitude for you investing the currency of your effort and your attention, and I'm so grateful for it. I love it. If you need a resource, if you just need somebody to talk to, if you need judgment-free conversation, I'm not a hard person to get a hold of me. My DMs are always open on anything. But I mean everything I say sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I mean, when it's nice. If it comes out offensive or something, I didn't mean that. I was joking around.
No, I'll vouch for every bit of that. Seriously. So.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, no, seriously. You're a great guy, man.
Thanks, man. You know what? I really very much appreciate. Like you kind of. Oh, do you see how bad this looks? Does it look really bad?
I was wondering about that.
I have a little sty on my right eye.
Is that from work?
No, it's like I wear contacts, and I had not changed the solution, and then put my contact in, and then by the end of the day, it looked like this. So yeah, always change the solution on your contacts, or you'll have a problem instead of a solution.
All right, well, and Dylan, Dylan's been a great guest. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. To all the viewers, hope you enjoy the show. Cory, it's nice to formally meet you.
Yeah, dude. Well, maybe one of these days I'll make the Andy Reid trip from Philly to
Kansas City.
To visit y'all.
I got a couch for you to crash on. All right.
All right. Well, what's the comedy scene like there? Do you have any idea?
It's not terrible. Kansas City, it's still like a small big city.
Yeah.
But we've got a number of comedy
several
venues here in the city. Patrick, who's been on your show, hasn't he done some stand-up?
He's done stand-up around here. He said the scenes here is all right, but when you start, if you've been around long enough, and you start to meet sort of the people, it's you want to branch out. So I don't know.
Well, I mean that's any scene. That's really any scene. It can kind of get discouraging, and I think that I haven't done a whole lot of stand up outside of Philly. Like I've done a bunch of spots in New York City and stuff like that. And New York City and Philly, people equate them so much. But I think like some of my friends who've gone to LA or like go do stand up other places who like will say they're from Philly, they get like an extra little street cred. Once you say, if you're anywhere and you say you're from Philly, people like look at you like, oh, God, this guy's been through some shit.
I've heard that, Kansas City, like, people are nice here. I don't know what that means, but apparently we're very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not nice here. You're not going to get so much nice. You'll get way less nice here. That's what the "you don't like us, we don't care" thing comes
No,
from.
no, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're not going to get a whole lot of nice here.
That's funny.
All right, well, to everybody listening and Cory, you guys have a wonderful evening, all right?
Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
Have a good night, man.
Take care.
Thanks.